So that's why we are here. And thank you again for coming. And I want to share with you about the story of the Prop 16. Missed
Using the left's narrative of racism, on racism, and why Harvard discriminates against them. Please welcome Kenny Xu.
我们亚裔能够进入高比例进入这些名校呢，是因为我们的亚裔很多都是高科技移民，我们的就是说很多孩子都就是重视学习，他们是有资格进入的。但是呢，由于这个种族因素受到限制，如果将来有一天就是我们的孩子合格的，就是人数少了，但是呢，只要这个我们的制度是对待他们是同样的，我们也没有任何问题。我们所诉求的是公平的对待，并不说是一定的某个就是比例。
Asian Americans are underrepresented at Harvard. You heard me correctly. They're underrepresented at Harvard. If Harvard did not discriminate against Asians, it would be about 43% of the university. If they admitted based on academic merit, it would be about 43% of the university. Instead, Asians are about 20% of the university.
It's not really about the percentage, because if Asians are in the top, let's just say 90% of academics, but they only are 20% of Harvard, then that kind of shows an issue. Because if they are 90% of top academic excellences, then they should be closer to 90% in schools. However, that's not happening because of affirmative action.
We believe that a student's race or ethnicity shouldn't be used to help him or harm him gain admission to a college or university. If competitive universities would end legacy preferences, end preferences for faculty and staff, and quit giving preferences for big donors, and instead lower the bar a little bit from kids from disadvantaged backgrounds, that would ensure that there are actually greater racial diversity than there is now. And that's a fairer way of going about doing this.
To break up with woke diversity. We have to stop blaming ourselves for Harvard's sick problem.
And I think diversity is good. However, if that affects meritocracy, and for example, me getting denied by my middle school, the Gifted and Talented program, I don't think that's fair. However, if those friends of mine are non-Asian and they got in and they are decently smart, I think it's fair.
Students benefit from a class where teachers, where people are comparatively at the same level. Everybody knows that. This is why you don't teach Algebra 1 to a class of people who don't know geometry. Or this is why you don't teach calculus to people who still have yet to take Algebra 1, right? You want everybody to be at approximately the same level, and that's when diversity really works. So the problem is Harvard is skipping the process of allowing everybody to be the same level, and they're admitting people who are much underqualified.
And I told him, my son, you can just skip this section. It's just a sneaky portion to find your racial background so that they can use that information to judge you. And he spoke back to me.
其实呢，我们对这个西裔和非裔这个孩子的教育就是落后呢，我们非常同情，但我们也愿意就是说帮助他们和大家来一起改善他们的中小学教育，这是正确的方式来提高多元化，而不是在大学录取使用种族因素。
I believe that America, instead of giving affirmative action, we should give educational help to those that are less, let's just say, less likely to have money, and they're less fortunate.
Asians academically outperform whites, they outperform Hispanics, and they outperform African Americans. We need to understand why that is, and then those other groups can perhaps one day work as hard and as diligently as Asian Americans, so their academic achievement gaps will narrow and disappear.
All men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights.
Goals. A good idea poorly executed is a bad idea. When affirmative action penalizes strong applicants from marginalized marginalized communities using extremely arbitrary factors